Good evening. Welcome to Focus on Education. I'm Angie Agle, and with me tonight is Chief Ryan Nicholls, and we're going to talk some about the Navy JROTC program at the high school. We're just finishing up our second year, and there's been a lot of exciting news coming along. But start out, tell us a little bit about, for those who are not aware of what this program involves, who's eligible, what is the curriculum content of the course? What are the cadets expected to do?
Okay, anybody that's between the age or grade levels of 9th and 12th is eligible to take the program. What we teach as part of the curriculum, we have 4 different levels of the curriculum, NS1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's based on your year of ROTC. It starts from anywhere from goal setting, leadership, followership, all the way up to the NS4 level where you start getting into astrology, meteorology, oceanography. We do land navigation as well. We do a lot of competitions, a lot of military drill. We have numerous teams. We have athletic, academic, arm drill, unarmed drill, color guard, air rifle, which is just a pellet gun. We also are the first school in this area to have a sea perch team, which we have been awarded a $6,500 ORPSEF grant to purchase new ROVs, underwater ROVs.
So what is a sea perch program?
It's an underwater remote operated vehicle. It's PVC pipe and different controllers, motors, and stuff like this.
Basically an underwater robot.
It is. It is not as complex as the robotics team here at the school, but it's neat in its own little way. The kids, they build the stuff, and then we have to construct an underwater obstacle course. So they'll have to maneuver through obstacles, and they'll have to move items from one spot to another. And speed and precision is key to it. We are looking to host a local competition, and eventually, hopefully next year, compete in a regional competition. I think this year the closest regional competition was Charlotte, North Carolina. And depending on how well we were able to do there, at a regional competition, we could qualify to go nationals.
That sounds really interesting. Do you have any kids who are also involved with the Wildbots team?
I do not.
Not this year.
But I would love to have some.
So what does your typical week look like? How much of the week is spent doing bookwork? How much is spent practicing something that's more, I don't know, the PT or the drills or something?
A typical week in ROTC schedule would be something like this. Monday would be like a drill type day where we go to the gym or go outside, weather permitting, and we would practice working on military drill, marching, and so on and so forth. We try on Tuesdays and Thursdays to get into the curriculum because it's not just competitions and stuff. We still have a lot of academic stuff to achieve. Teach the kids how to be good citizens and good leaders, and so on and so forth. Wednesdays are our uniform days. The kids have to wear the uniform one day a week, and it's on Wednesdays. And it's just, the uniform that these kids wear is the exact same uniform that active duty sailors E1 through E6 wear, which is pretty awesome that they get to wear that uniform and hopefully wear it with pride. And Fridays are our athletic days, our PT days, our physical training days. We could go to the track, do some running, do some calisthenics. We may play some sort of a team game, just different things like that.
What are the academic requirements to get in and to stay in?
There's really no academic requirements to get in. ROTC it's a fun class. It's not it's one of those classes that as long as you're participating and doing the things that you're supposed to do, it's not a difficult class to fail. You really have to work hard at failing the class because, again, I want kids to get out of their comfort zone and participate, because I love to see the kids who are maybe a little bashful maybe lack self-confidence. You put them in certain situations, give them some responsibility, and then just over time, you just see them just like an onion. You see the layers start to peel back, and you just really see them blossom into good leaders and just good community members of the community. And that's what it's about. But just as long as you're maintaining your grades, you're passing the class, and you're a good student, not only in ROTC, but in all your other classes, because I hold the kids to a higher standard like that. Again, teaching them to be good students and good citizens, you can stay in ROTC your entire high school career.
I know that I've observed in some of the students I know who are participating, even in just a few months' time, you can see a difference in these kids. You can see a difference in the way they carry themselves, in the way that they interact with other people. What causes that? How do you do that? Just in a very short period of time, a kid who in middle school might have been a little bit of a slacker, and after just a few months in ROTC, all of a sudden you've got shoulders back, you get yes ma'am and yes sir. And how do you get that?
I think it's just pride, you know. One, pride in what the program stands for and represents, pride in the uniform, and just pride in themselves. You know, I think if you can hold the kids accountable, have a level of expectation and hold them to that, I think that really helps. Believing in the kids, taking the time to talk to them and let them know that they're valued instead of just, you know, another student in class, and giving them a sense of worth and feeling a part. And one of the biggest keys to ROTC, one thing that I really try to drive home to the kids is it's a family. I don't care what your social or economical background is. I don't care what other people think that you should look like or how you should act or whatnot. This is a family, okay? Sometimes all families are dysfunctional. You know, we have our issues just like everybody else. But I think if the kid feels welcome and secured and comfortable for who they are, not what someone thinks they should be, I believe that really opens them up and just being comfortable, I guess you would say.
Well, y'all have entered several competitions this year, because I've gotten press releases and emails, and it's looking pretty impressive. What are the different kinds of competitions you do? Where have they been, and what has been your success rate this year?
Oh gosh, we've been super busy. And thank God, I tell you what, that I have some great parents who help me out, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do half the stuff we would, because, you know, I so love going home to my wife and kids. But we recently, well, this is our second year of the program, and both years we finished first place in the Knox County JRTC athletic competition. We finished third place overall in the league this year. Several second place overalls in certain events. We have a few third place overalls, which was awesome. And just being the second year, we're really taking it to some of these programs that have been in existence for, you know, 20, 30 years. And that speaks volumes to the level of talent, determination, and pride that our kids have, our cadets. These are some awesome cadets. I'm telling you, I'm proud to be the instructor for these kids. We also do what's called postal competitions. What it is schools will have, whether it's athletic, academic, air rifle, they set a standard for a particular event. We actually perform the event here. I grade it, I sign it, verify that yes, it was done, send the results back, and we see where we fall. And we've had a couple second place finishes. We had a third place. I just got an email today that we finished first overall in an athletic competition, and Beatrice Shea, she finished first overall on the female side, and Chris Ferreira first overall on the male side. A lot of great things going on, a lot of great things.
How many JROTCs are there in the Knoxville area, and are they all Navy, or are they different branches?
There are, in the Anderson County, Knox County, Loudoun County area, there are 8 Navy programs. There are, and if you go Blount County and add in the Air Force, I think there's 5, and there's 2 Army units in Knox County. So there are quite a few programs, JRTC, of different branches in the area.
Do all the different branches compete mixed, or do you have separate competitions depending on the branch of service?
Carnes will come out and compete. They're Air Force. They'll compete a little bit in some of the Knox County Navy JRTC stuff that we do. Gibbs and South Doyle, they're Army. Really the only thing that they compete in is air rifle, and they're really good at that. And in air rifle, we finished 2nd overall in the Knox County League, and only one of the Army programs, I think it was Gibbs, they beat us, so we beat all the other Navy programs. And again, just our 2nd year. So.
How many of the kids had any prior experience or prior influence, parents who had been in the military or experience with shooting lessons or something like that?
This is a completely different style of shooting than what, as I tell the kids, but you're not out on Papaw's farm. So usually it's the ones that have the little to no experience shooting typically do the best, because you don't have any bad habits to break. Again, this is just a pellet gun. There's no recoil on it. It's very, it's safe. But we have a pretty good number of our students whose parents have or family members have been in the military. Not a lot of them really have had a whole lot of experience shooting. I do have a few kids who are competition shooters or well versed in hunting. But again, it's a different style of shooting, so it takes a little more time with those guys and gals to break them of the bad habits and to do it the right way, the Navy way.
That sounds good. Are there any other, you mentioned that when they get up into their 4th year, you've got some things like meteorology and oceanography. So do you have students now, because you obviously have some juniors and seniors, are they doing that 4th year curriculum, or are they still doing 2nd year curriculum because it's just the 2nd year of the program?
2nd year.
Okay.
So if I have next year, if I have a senior who comes in, wants to take it for their last year of high school, they would start at the Naval Science 1 level. So it's just based on their year. So if a freshman this year takes it all 4 years, they'll finish up as a Naval Science 4 cadet.
You mentioned earlier that you've had several promotions today, that today was promotion day. How often through the year does that occur, and what do the kids do in order to earn that promotion?
I have 3 promotion exams every year, usually towards the end of September, the latter part of January, and then about the last half of April. The kids have to take a written test based on knowledge of what they've learned throughout the year. It could be anywhere from marching, signal flags, nautical flags, the sword manual, the saber, ceremonial stuff, just the Constitution, the executive branches, the 3 branches of government, and so on and so forth.
Very good. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back in a few minutes to finish. Thank you. Welcome back to Focus on Education. I'm visiting tonight with Chief Ryan Nicholls. How many students did you start out with last year, and how many do you have this year?
Last year we started with 107, and this year we started with 100.
How many do you have signed up for next year?
The initial roster that I saw, I had 143.
Wow, that's a lot of growth. And is that common for programs that are just starting out?
Not really.
It's my understanding that you have to get to 100 students pretty sustainably. So how many years does it take before the Navy decides that this is sustainable if you're seeing 2 years of 100 and then going to 140?
We have to meet 100 students or 10% of the student population, whichever is less, for 2 consecutive years, which we've met that.
Okay.
We have submitted the application to the Navy to become a funded unit, and it's just a matter of when the Navy gets enough money, because there's a law, Congress has set a certain number of units per branch for the ROTC at the collegiate level and also the JROTC at the high school level. So really, if a unit loses their certification or they close a unit, then they can move units up.
Okay. Well, these competitions probably don't come out of the regular school budget, so you have to do a little fundraising. What kind of activities have you done for fundraising, and what sort of success have you had with that so far?
Oh, we've sold just about everything except kidneys. We've sold ROTC merchandise, clothing. We've recently, we're currently still selling, finishing this up, the Zips car wash gift cards. We've sold Sonic cards. We just wrapped up a plant and flower sale. We do a lot of fundraising at Walmart. Some people may think it's just begging. We're not. We're talking about the program. We're greeting the customers. I like to get the kids out doing that, to get them into the community, to speak to people. Again, as I mentioned earlier, getting kids out of their comfort zone. So people are sometimes so socially awkward that it's hard for them to really talk to people. But as leaders, they have to be able to stand in front of the people that they're leading and to be able to speak clearly. And so that's kind of what we do. Just tell them about the program, and I'm always recruiting. I'm always trying to get good quality cadets to come to the program.
I think I saw on your website that you have a car wash coming up.
We do. I think it's the 18th, I want to say, of this month. We'll have a car wash at Advanced Auto across the street, and it'll be from 10 to 6. So please don't wash your car. Let us wash it for you.
Well, that's the kind of thing that I always love to see. When my girls were still in school, the orchestra would do a car wash, the band would do a car wash, and I like to see that sort of thing, because there are a lot of people who don't want to buy something, but if the kid is going to wash their car, it doesn't matter if it's dirty or not.
Right.
You get it washed, because that's just the thing you do. And to see the students out actually working toward something that they want to achieve, it's worth supporting.
Absolutely.
And you got something big coming up, not this coming school year, but the following school year. Just learned about it. You got a little invitation. You want to tell us about it?
We did. We have been accepted to represent the state of Tennessee in the annual Pearl Harbor Memorial Parade at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, December 2020. So we are kicking it into gear, doing a lot of fundraising. We've got to raise a lot of money, but it's a huge honor. Again, we'll be the only program to represent the state of Tennessee. It's invitation only, so we're excited about it. And again, as a second-year program, to be chosen for this is huge.
That is a pretty high honor.
Huge.
And odds are that few of your cadets have ever been to Pearl Harbor. I did not go until 3 years ago, and you cannot walk through there with dry eyes.
No.
You can't.
It's a very humbling experience, especially when you go to the Arizona Memorial. It's deep.
So I think that that's an experience that your cadets will come away from changed.
Absolutely.
And probably even more pride and motivation. And how many of your cadets, the ones that are graduating this year, do you think are going to follow through with either ROTC in college, or join the service out of high school, or continue in some way?
I know Alex Coons, he's our company executive officer. He has received an Army ROTC scholarship He's going to be attending Middle Tennessee State on that. Our CEO, Rhiannon Lucas, she's going to Norfolk State. And got a few other cadets who are going to, I got one that's going to Carson Newman who wants to get into the ROTC program there, who wants to be a trauma nurse in the Army. We'll have a few others that will enlist, and others will just go to community college, maybe a VOTEC type school.
But it's still, they will carry with them what they have learned here, whether they go into the service or another ROTC program or not. It changes them,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives them tools that other kids don't have. Just
Absolutely.
a sense of confidence, pride, a way of interacting with people they don't necessarily know, people they may be interviewing with for a job. So it's really very exciting. This is a program that a lot of us have wanted for years and just couldn't make it happen. And we're very appreciative of the Department of Energy facilities here that helped facilitate this and get it started. And I am tickled with the progress that you've made. It's just, for them to do this well in the competitions just in the second year, and to see the enrollment growing, because this is part of Key 7, where we want every student graduating to be prepared,
Mm-hmm.
prepared for whatever is beyond them. We want them to have college credits, whether that's AP or dual enrollment. We want them to have military preparation. We want them to be ready to move forward, and your program is a very key part of that goal. And so I think that's going to make a big difference in accomplishing that, to make sure that, and we've made progress. We're getting to where we've got most of them have one of those components of Key 7. But to get the kids ready for whatever's next, whatever that might be, is just huge.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you would like the community to know?
I think there's a lot of misconception about what the program represents and what it is. This is not and I can't emphasize this enough, this is not a recruiting tool for the military. If a person takes my class, it does not obligate them to join the military. Not at all.
I think the recruiters use ACT scores.
Well, they use the ASVAB score, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. But this class, it's a military-based class, but the skills that they learn, a cadet will learn in my program, it doesn't matter if they go to college, go to the military, or go straight into the workforce. What they will learn in this program will set them up for success no matter where they go. And there is an advantage if by taking this class in high school, if, let's say, for example, you took it your freshman and sophomore year and you didn't take it the rest, your junior and senior year, and you decided at some point in time after high school you wanted to join the military, you could go in any branch of the military as an E2, which what that does is it puts you 6 to 9 months ahead of other people, plus it puts an extra couple $100 a month in your pocket just by saying, oh, hey, I took ROTC in high school, get your transcript, and there you go. If you take it for 3 years, you can go in the Navy and I believe the Army as an E3, which will put you about a year to year and a half ahead of other people, and an extra $350 to $400 a month in your paycheck. So there are monetary advantages to taking this class in high school.
Well, and for those students who want to and have a realistic shot at the service academies,
Mm-hmm.
how much of a bump does ROTC in high school give them?
It is not a guarantee, because really the student has to do it on themselves. I mean, I can make recommendations as the instructor, but what they're looking for is the folks, the selection board, if you will. I mean, your ACT, SAT scores is what's going to make you competitive. Now, this could look good on your application if it comes down to, selecting you who's taken ROTC in high school over somebody who hasn't, and everything else is comparable. This could be that driving force to put you over the top and get you selected?
Because we do at Oak Ridge send a few kids to the service academies just about every year. There was one from my graduating class. My son-in-law is a graduate of the Naval Academy. And it's, they're very exclusive schools, so you don't have a whole lot. But it is something that some kids make up their mind that's what they want to do. And it seems like this would maybe be a good idea for those who are looking that direction.
I would love to have those people in my program so that I can help them out as well. You think a 4-year appointment to the Naval Academy with tuition, room and board, and all of the perks that you get, you're talking $400,000 to $450,000 worth of education. And if you plan on serving your country anyway, why not let the government pay for your education, come out college debt free, and then have a guaranteed job for 4, 5, 6 years? That's a sweet deal.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I appreciate your time. I'm very excited about your program and what you have brought to Oak Ridge High School. It's something that a lot of us had wanted for a long time, and it's very exciting to see the success you're seeing already.
Thank you.
So another couple years, I want to see some of those kids that have gone all the way through. I may want to sit in on some of the oceanography classes because it's things that are useful to anyone. So thank you for joining us. Have a good evening.